Hello, hola, ciao, etc. And welcome back to the Metropolitan Culture Corner. And yes, I always welcome you back because I figure that you're one of those cool folks who's been following what we do. Once a month, we interview one of the shining lights from the local arts and culture scene. We've interviewed actors, photographers, musicians, all kinds of people. And it's thanks to these incredible individuals that our beautiful city of Barcelona is the interesting, dynamic, multicultural, diverse place that it is. This month is a very special edition of the Metropolitan Culture Corner because it is our 50th episode. Well, I only have this many fingers, but this time's 5. 50th episode. I am super proud of this project, this collaboration with Barcelona Metropolitan magazine, because it's given me the opportunity to promote the work of fellow creatives, of really interesting, incredible people who bring a lot to our community. So thank you, Metropolitan, for supporting this project. Thank you to all of you for tuning in for 50 installments of the Metropolitan Culture Corner. To celebrate this milestone, we've invited a very special guest to be with us this month. Clarence Bekker is a soul singer known for his powerful pipes. And when I say powerful, I mean blow your hair back powerful. He has a huge voice, a massive stage presence. He has been a part of a number of notable musical projects, from Swing and Soul Machine to Barcelona's own 08001 to the International Music Project, a non-profit organization playing for change, which works to bring music to marginalized communities around the world. They are an absolutely inspiring non-profit organization. I recommend that you look them up and learn more about what they do. Clarence's participation in these various musical projects has taken him on the road all over the globe multiple times, and the Playing for Change project's videos have racked up over 200 million views. There are people from all over the world who know and love this guy. But even before Clarence Bekker became a well-known name associated with this wonderful project, he was a street musician with his own devoted underground grassroots following. He had singles on the UK charts back in the 1990s in the dance world. I mean, this guy's just done everything. Since 2016, he has led his own group, the Clarence Bekker Band, which is composed of some of the best rock, funk, and soul musicians in Spain. There is so much to talk about with this guy. Please welcome Clarence Bekker to the Metropolitan Culture Corner, and thank you for being with us for our 50th episode.
What am I about? The thing that I am about, and I think that I've done all my life, I don't know about other aspects in my life, but once it comes to music or once it comes to performing, I always give myself 100 to 150 or 200%. There is no way that I will get off stage and I don't feel like I have given everything that I could. That's part of me. If the perceiver doesn't like it or doesn't like the 100% that I give, I can't feel bad about it because I want to give 100%. That is what I feel good about. I don't care whether I'm a star that has Beyonce level or someone on the street. My 100%, whether it's a small stage or a big stage, that's enough for me. That's my award that I've been able to give you my 100%. And what you do with it, I can't direct that. For me, that is still my life goal. And I hope that I can keep doing that till the day that I die.
Welcome to the Metropolitan Culture Corner, and I'm happy to speak to you today.
Thank you, Tori. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Look, I've had so many people say to me who've seen you perform, they say, but Clarence Bekker is American, right? Because I guess they don't hear an accent when you speak, or because the way you perform gives them that impression. I don't know, but no, not at all. You're from Suriname, and then you were in the Netherlands, and now you're in Barcelona. So
Yes.
How did you get from there to here? What brought you on this journey?
Well, let me put it in 1 minute for you. I was born in Suriname. At the age of 6, I moved to Holland with my mother and my brothers and sisters. And I lived there for 30 years. Then I moved to Barcelona. In the meanwhile, I've been touring around the world with some bands and spoke a lot of English and a lot of American English. And that's why they think I've got an American accent. But then again, as a Dutch person, we grew up with American television. So I see the Netherlands as like the 55th state of the United States.
Most Dutch people I've met, their English is spectacular, but you can hear the accent. In your case, you can't.
Thank you.
But I think people say it more than because of how you speak, but of how you perform. Like, where did you get the influences that first inspired you to start singing?
Musical-wise and television-wise, we grow up with American television. So that's why I'm saying, like, Holland we've grown up with all the artists from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, like James Brown, Sam Cooke, Bill Withers, Tina Turner, all these were like familiar for us. And as well with my Suriname background, which is closer to the United States, our house would be filled with American music, much more than Dutch music. So from young on, I was affiliated with American music. And so I think that's where I got the chance to grow into it.
When you were a kid, were you one of these people who you'd jump up on a table and start singing, or were you shy? Did you study music? I mean, how did you start performing in the first place?
I did not study music. I come from a very poor background. In those most important years, I was raised in a part of Holland where I would be the only black person in miles around in the south of Holland. Very Catholic village, it's called Witham. And I would feel very lonely, and music would be my only escape point. Even though I had brothers and sisters, I was the middle of the family, I would still feel very lonely. Music would comfort me. So I listened a lot to music and sing a lot. And I think that as a child, I was a big actor because I was always happy. But in my lonely hours, music would comfort me. Whenever I would have the chance to perform whatever, whether it's on a school reunion or at a birthday party or whatever, I would, because that would be my second nature.
I asked if you were ever shy. I just can't imagine that. But you never know, eh? Was your family musical? Did anybody in your family sing?
No, there's no one musical in my family. My younger brother has become a rapper, so he's got a little bit of music in there. But for the rest, no, neither my mother nor my father, no.
I read that you were first known as an electronic music artist in the 90s when you were still in the Netherlands. Is that true? Because your style's changed a lot over the years, if that's the case.
Yes, well, my style has changed. I started from scratch without any musical background. I knew that the only thing that I wanted to do was sing. I did a contest, like they have now on television, The Voice and stuff. I started with one of those with the pre-selections. I was 14 years old. I became third in that tournament, and it was the first time I got applause, and I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I got recognition for the first time in my life for something that I did. I tried football, that wasn't me. I tried playing the trumpet, that wasn't me. And this was it. Singing was it. So I grew up, and age at 14, 16, 18, I was with a band called Swing Soul Machine. It was like the oldest soul band that the Netherlands had, and I was their youngest lead singer ever. I stayed with them for 3 years. Then I was introduced to two producers who also at that time produced Tour Limited, which was a big dance act in the world, actually, not only in Europe. They had big successes all over the world. We did 3 albums under the name C.B. Milton, Clarence Milton Bekker, and we had some hits like Send Me an Angel, It's a Loving Thing, What About Me? That became like 3 big hits. I toured about 6 or 7 years with it, and then I got a little bored about it. So I wanted to change. I decided to go backpacking.
So a lot of people, as young musicians who discover that this is what they want to do, that's the last thing that they would do. They're on a label, they've got hits. Most people would grab onto that and just not let go. And you're like, nah, I'm going backpacking. So what did that backpacking experience show you, teach you?
Well, I think first of all, most important thing in my life was to be human. And second was being a musician. And growing up without father, and getting success, getting to earn money, being able to travel through music, but not actually having a point of focus where you're going to. I was very curious about the rest of the world, and I wanted to learn, to see what the rest of the world had to offer. What am I living with and what am I working with? And so I took my guitar and started traveling.
Is there a point when you felt like you'd found what you were looking for and came back?
But that took a very long time, actually. That took a very long time. And that's actually where my musical trip started. I ended up in Barcelona, on the streets of Barcelona, playing the guitar. Then I was invited to play with a band in Barcelona called 08001, a band with multicultural members from Europe, South America, North Africa. And I toured with them for 3 years. We did 2 albums. After that, I went back to work with, again, some dance music producers here in Barcelona, Taita Ticaro. We had a few hits called Shine On Me, Today Is My Day. I toured with them. And then the big Playing for Change came along. While I was performing on the streets, I was introduced to Mark Johnson, who was just starting his whole project with Playing for Change. He asked me if I could sing Stand By Me and another song. And I did that. A year later, this whole project became a success. And since then, I've toured the world 6 times. I've been on a roller coaster, had a lot of personal problems inside, which I've overcome. And since a few years, I have my own band, and I'm traveling with my band members right now.
Which I want to talk about. But before we get to that, Playing for Change, could you explain a little bit, just briefly, what it is? But also, you just got back from this backpacking trip to see the world, and then you end up in this situation where you're once again seeing the world from a different perspective. Could you tell me what that brought to you, you know, on a professional level, on a personal level, on a human level?
Still, as a traveler, going around the world with Playing for Change is a organization that tries to bring the world together through their music videos, and that means that they film musicians from all over the world and put them in the same video. So you'll see numerous people singing and performing in the song. And with this image and with this hope, we try to make the world a better place. And touring with them absolutely has made me see how united we can be, what we can achieve if we are together. I think none of the artists that are in the band could have done it solo, but together we could create something very, very powerful and give the people a great message. Mm-hmm. That's what we did.
When you mentioned that now you're the leader of your own band, the Clarence Bekker Band, which we see your most recent album Changes behind you on the wall. With your band, a Jamboree, you guys have a residency every Thursday night. You've had it for a few years now. It's 2 shows a night. It's not 1 show a night. And you travel the world. You've been to Brazil. You just got back from Tokyo, if I understand it correctly. So you have to have really good control over your technique. You have to be in great mental health. You have to be in great physical health to do this. What do you do to take care of yourself to make sure that you can give this 100%?
Part of it is the force of the animal, the force that comes inside of me. There is something inside of you that you can't explain. There is a force that makes you want to be on stage and give people something to feel. I see that also when you're performing. There's this animal, there's no words for it. It just comes out. But for a long time in my life, I've been searching for my mental health. I've been searching for, like everybody else, for who I am and what's the cause of it all. I tried it with a lot of drugs. I did the whole rock and roll thing. And I had to come down from the whole rock and roll thing because at a certain moment, my search for who I am was actually eating my soul away by using the drugs. And I had to take a great look at myself and see that whole rock and roll part of my life was fine, but I had to take care of myself if I wanted to do what I like to do. And so I did. I had a very good big look at myself. And with that came that I took more care of myself and taking care of my voice. You know, every car needs repair here and there. You can have the finest car, but everything needs maintenance. So I went to the maintenance shop and this lovely teacher taught me how to maintain my voice even better. So I'm working with that. Body-wise, I make sure that there is enough energy to lead myself and to lead the band. And I think mentally, when you take good care of your body, your mind follows. Or maybe you take good care of your mind, your body follows. It's a catch-22 there.
I've seen you perform over the years, and I think that you sound better than I've ever heard you before these days.
Thank you. Well, I'm working hard on it. I didn't come from a school background, so I was autodidact till my 50th, actually. I could pretend that I was a great singer till I was 50. Then I met this vocal coach, and now I know that I'm a great singer.
Take it till you make it, you know?
That's so fun.
Speaking of great singers, you've talked about on stage lots of times the artists that you love and the people who've influenced you, but especially a lot of these female voices that you really love, like Whitney Houston, like Tina Turner, like Janis Jackson, you know?
Yeah.
You have a song about it, right, on your album. So what is it that these women give you? What is it that makes them reach your soul, your heart in a way that's different than maybe their male counterparts?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's like the female vocals and maybe the pitch goes straight to my heart. When male vocals goes not so fast, unless it's really rough. That's really rough. And with female vocals, you know, they just warm my heart. Like Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey, Tina Turner, they're healing for me.
When you sing some of these songs by these incredible women or by anybody, no, because you sing a lot of cover songs, but you also have your own music. So if you're singing,
I have something about that because, you know, I write music, but at a certain moment, I'm really inspired to write my own lyrics. And I find that with the instrument that I was given, I'm very happy in amplifying other existing songs or other existing lyrics, which I can put myself 100% behind. And I think that sometimes I can keep those messages still alive alive, and I believe in those messages that I put out there, even if they're covers, and when there are new songs in my mind, when they come on my way, I will absolutely put them out there. I don't think that I'm the world's best songwriter, but in the meanwhile, I do have this gift that I want to share with people in whichever way.
With the band that you have, when it comes to whether you're putting together an arrangement for a cover song or you're putting together arrangements of your own, you guys, as you said, have been together for a while. You've been touring a while.
Yes,
They're all great musicians. So if somebody, a young musician, came to you and said, look, I want to put together a band, I want to go on the road, but I want to keep the band together. I don't want it to be just like a couple of gigs. I want to make this a project with a trajectory, I want to make sure that I give this project life and make sure everybody's happy and make sure everybody's a part of it. What would you tell somebody as far as being a band leader is like the most important thing?
Well, the most important thing is that there is no band leader. Somebody's got to make the decision, but you make the decision in the band together, That is, I think, what keeps the band together, that everybody's got the same amount of power, same amount of input, because everybody is relevant. I think that, especially in my band, all the members are really living their instruments. And together we make music, how it was meant to be. Everybody should be respected on the same level. And don't take anyone or anything for granted. Also, in the wages, people dedicate their lives to the instrument, and should be paid for that too.
Right? In your experience, when it comes to performing in other countries versus Spain, you've been touring the world since basically the 1990s up until now. Do you feel like the way the musicians are treated has improved or has not? Or is it just always a tough business and you got to do the best you can?
I've seen a lot change in a way that people would really pay an artist to come with a tape act 3,000 euros instead of having a band for 3,000 euros. A band would be there for enjoyment, and now one DJ can be the band. It's not a group of people anymore that comes to make another group of people enjoy themselves. So less people, more enjoyment. I'm not quite sure. For me, it's still other way around. I like to have a lot of people on stage.
Lots of people, as you said, have dedicated their life to their instrument and are pretty badass, not just any people. They're amazing people.
Yes.
And speaking of the music scene, I did want to ask you a question about the music scene in Catalonia specifically, although perhaps this happens in other places too, I don't know. It's not a very comfortable question, but I think it's important to ask. In recent years, there's been all kinds of black music festivals and black music concert cycles, at least here. Not soul music, not funk, not blues. They say black music, right? But
yes,
you don't see a lot of black faces.
Black people.
Black music festivals, and I find that to be very, very strange. So
me too.
You are an amazing artist and you happen to be black. Does this bother you?
My personal point of view is like, I grew up in Holland. So for me, soul music comes in every language, in every color, in every style. It comes from the soul. That's why it's called soul music. So if it's a black person or a white person or a yellow person or whatever person, as long as I can feel the soul, I don't care. Just give me that soul, And so that is the most important thing that I want to see. Yes, okay, when they put on a black music festival, it brings question, what do they mean with that? What is it? If they put a soul festival, I can, so what is a black music festival? What is I don't put that label on it, and I don't know what to expect. But when I come there, and actually I'm the only black person, I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's just the title that I always found quite strange.
Yeah, well, I find the title also very strange. But then again, we're talking about here in Spain and black music. Do not forget that Spain has just opened after Franco. It's maybe a big part, but it's been just recently, actually, when you look at the evolution of the world, that the Spanish has opened the doors and the hearts to other cultures and societies. So I think the whole black music scene still has to grow. Of course, we can adore the people coming from outside, but the people who are inside are taking their chances to grow into the black music in here, I think.
Because how long have you been here? You've been here how many years now?
I've been here 20 years.
Right, so you're from here now at this point.
Yes, you soc català.
Yeah, I've heard you sing in Catalan, so yes.
Exactly.
Do you have more, and I feel like some people love this question, some people hate it, but do you have more songs coming and more albums on the horizon? Any projects you're super excited about?
Yes, we're busy working on new material for sure, but at the moment I want to do some Spanish songs.
Oh, wow.
I want to have some Spanish songs in my repertoire. I don't know what my soul says that I want to do that, so that's what we're going to do. Want to get a little bit more closer to the Spanish people because I love living in Spain and I'm going to remain living in Spain, hoping to tour a little bit more, use my talent to be more around the Spanish people.
Well, I'm excited to hear these Spanish songs. So people, if they wanted to find your albums and stuff, they can find it on your website, they can find it at the concerts.
They can find them in the website, concert, on all the social media platforms. Have a listen to Clarence Bekker live in the Jamboree album.
Recommended, okay? 2 thumbs up for sure. Thank you very much for talking with me today.
Dory, thank you very much for having me, and you got a great smile.
Thanks.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Clarence, for hanging out with us here and for sharing your story. Listen, people, if you're in or around Barcelona anytime in the near future, or in any other country where Clarence and his band happen to be performing, I highly recommend going to check them out, as their live show is absolutely stunning. Next month, we will be taking a short break from the Metropolitan Culture Corner, but tune in the fall, because we have some surprises in store for you. Have a wonderful summer, and thank you once again, as always, for supporting local art and culture.